how's it going? This is the story of Thoth's dog. This is a story of a man who had a religious experience who was told to prep for an entire year's worth of food and medical supply for 11 people in August of 2019 because 10% of the world was going to die. And when COVID happened, he went into psychosis, and it was only broken when his dog died. So this is a story of childhood trauma, mental illness, loss, failure of society, failure of myself, failure of psychiatric industry, failure of government, being fucked over by a multi-billion-dollar corporation and the people who hire for them. Just the immense amount of absurdity, really, that has coursed through my entire life. This is a very long story. If you like podcasts, you might like this, but if you hate my voice already, you're in a lot of fucking hurt. I hope if you're a liberal you hate this. I hope if you're a conservative you hate this. It's all the same. It's got a little bit of everything that people can take away with it, and an immense amount of pain. So this is my story of 2019 all the way to 2020. This is Thoth's dog. Hello, seemingly normal person. This is the story of Thoth's dog. And so, what I need to premise this entire video by is that I am almost incapable of writing a book at this point. And so this is a detailed description, a real occurrence in mine. That detail is basically the last year, potentially my entire life. I'm at a point now in an almost completely empty apartment, having lost everything, unable to hold a job, having lost my family, my extended family, me and my wife's relationship in ruin, and I'm unable to essentially get the help I need, even from the government and all that stuff. And we don't have to get into that, but trigger warning for people who need trigger warnings. You deserve the trigger. This entire book is going to be nothing more than the absolute shit show that is my psychological fucktitude, essentially, that has led to this emptiness up to this point, right? So if you are scared, if you are a coward, this probably isn't a good video for you. Because if I can live through the horribleness of my situations, you can too. Grow the fuck up. So, anyways, I literally have a general outline as to what I guess this account is. I had intentions of writing this book, but due to the nature of my conditions, that is not a possibility at this time. And as I am unsure, I am going to mentally and physically escape this alive. I figured it would just be best to talk about it, right? Perhaps maybe if it were a book, so I literally just have an outline. things that we're going to talk about. So this whole video is probably going to be about an hour or so long. And it's going to be totally freeform. I have nothing memorized here. So prepare for that. This is your very untraditional audiobook. So, yeah. I guess let's go into my backstory of how which led to me meeting Thoth's dog and breaking a spell of psychosis over my life, from which I am trying to recover from. So my backstory is that my mental illness basically started when I was just a kid. I grew up in a trauma-ridden household where, an oak wooden paddle was broken over my back when I was probably 4 years old. My mom was diagnosed with, BPD, borderline personality disorder. She was a severe alcoholic. So was my dad. He was not the type of person who would hurt you. He was completely and totally non-existent. He was emotionally unavailable. You couldn't talk to him about anything. It wasn't because he wasn't a high IQ individual, because he was a chemist. He had multiple bachelor's degrees. He was a very book smart, educated person, but just totally gone. You couldn't talk to him. You can ask him fucking anything. Like, he's the type of person where you can, if you were interested in brewing beer, he could tell you all the way that how all these different type of microbes will produce a different AVB and all that kind of stuff. But nothing about life. My mother, diagnosed with BPD, was the abusive person my entire life. Me and my sister, although being the oldest, you tend to go through different stages as a child differently. So, as different stages of curiosity and rebelliousness and all that kind of stuff would come out. Of course, I was the one, but she was also insane, right? So, we don't have to get too into the entire history of it, but let's just say, there are times where being locked in a closet for an hour or more, not totally uncommon. To be in the middle of arguments where she would say that she would kill the entire family if she didn't get her way, or it was something like her mental health was always really big, or actually not really her mental health, but like her health in general. She was always dying with something. And unfortunately, I kind of have that trait too. And anyways, so she, one of the most fondest memories I have of her, two particular events, was that at one point, I don't even remember, me and my sister were so afraid to sleep in our rooms, so we would sleep in my parents' rooms, both of us on either side of the bed, on the floor, with a blanket and a pillow. This was in a good area, a good home. I mean, we were the Joneses. My dad was making $90,000 back in the 1990s, which is equivalent to fucking, I don't even know, 140, 150 now. So nice house, big pool, all that stuff. Kids afraid to sleep in their own beds. I was afraid that my mom would kill me in my sleep. But this particular night she came in, and I don't remember why. I'm sure my parents had been fighting. And she came in and she announced that she was going to kill us all. And in her hand was a large giant knife. And of course, we didn't die, but I don't even know how it worked out. Because what happens is when trauma like that happens constantly over a long period of time, you start to dissociate. And so that trait, that dissociation trait, had already kicked in. And I'll tell you that in a second. So let me tell you the other story about my mom. So the other fond memory that I have of her right before my parents got divorced was that one day I came home from school, and I walked in the kitchen. She was crying, and there was this red shit all over the floor, and all over the shitty. I can see it now. The white. And it was like almost like this checkered-y kind of fucking linoleum floor, but like in each different corner, there was like little squares, and one was like, so anyways, but in between all that, there were little droplets of red shit. So she's got her back turned to me, and I walk in, and she's crying. I say, what's going on, Mom? And she turns around, and in her hands is just this blood, this absolute blood. And she comes over and she touches my face, and she's got this blood on my face, and she starts rambling off about how she wants to die and all this other stuff, and I'm literally like this 8-year-old boy, and I don't understand what's going on. And I say, Mom, why are you trying to kill herself? And she takes her hands off, and she's like, oh well, if I was really trying to kill myself, then what I would do is I wouldn't cut across, I would cut up. And I don't remember anything else in that conversation. So, prior to that, starting when I was about 5 years old, we had a family friend. And that family friend would molest me every single time we went over. So that happened for about a year, maybe more. But what I would do is, as I was laying in bed and all that kind of stuff, what I would do is I'd look out the window, I'd look at the trees, and I would dissociate myself in the trees. I would see myself outside myself, out there, sitting next to that tree, among the trees, smelling all the grass, smelling the leaves, smelling the nature. And so that stuck with me, and you'll see the correlation of why I did what I did when COVID hit, because that's essentially burned into my memory. I find absolute comfort in nature, not in any of the shit. Not in the physical, not in the only other weird thing I find comfort in is books. And my parents got divorced, and my dad became a severe alcoholic. He became a sales guy. He was gone all the time. He was gone for 4 to 5 days a week, literally like from Monday through Friday, or Sunday to Thursday night or freaking Friday night. And so when he would come home, I was raised by a nanny for like 2 years, stay-at-home nanny. And so me and my sister, he would come home and he would get shit-faced drunk. And he had this stereo system, this 50,000 watt stereo system. Now I know a lot of people, they say 50,000, like when you say 50,000 watts, you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, if you don't understand what that actually means, like there are people out there who are shitting themselves going, how the fuck is that even remotely possible? So to put this in comparison, a stadium you go to is something similar to that. My dad used to be a DJ when he was in college. That's basically what he did. So he would do blow, and he would, play fucking Jimi Hendrix and shit like that out of this stereo system they built. This is not your car stereo. This is arena sound coming from a house, and you could feel it. I mean, you could feel the bass on like a 3. So he cranked that fucking thing up in the middle of the night, trying to go to sleep. everyone trying to go to sleep, so the fucking cops would come over, and he was so drunk that he couldn't answer the door, so I would have to go answer the door at 11, 12 years old. Meet these police officers at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and, gentlemen, how are you doing tonight? Of course, that's not really what I was saying, but, you know, they got to know me. They got to know me. And then when I was about 13, this kept going on for about a year, and this one day, I just said, come in. I knew them. You know, I got tired. I got tired of covering for my dad. Because I think prior to the last time, he had gone up to the window and shown his ass as they were walking back to their squad car. And I said, I'm not going to protect my dad from shit like this. So I let them in. And he was passed out at the mix board, and he woke up to them poking them, or them poking him awake, and then, you know, absolutely, and confronting him, and then telling him, like, I don't understand why you have your son doing this. Like, this is inappropriate for him. And that's when something flipped in my mind. Something totally changed. And from that, I started this journey basically as this scared child into this person who was information obsessed. And you'll see why this is important here in a little bit. So one of the first books I read was a programming book, and then it just morphed, right? One of the first books I read, besides from that, was Stephen Hawking's Brief History of Time. And I'm sitting in my school and I'm reading this, and my teacher comes up to me and he's like, "What the hell are you reading, man? Like, do you understand any of this?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I totally understand all this shit." And it morphed. There was something that clicked. There was something that clicked in my mind, and I saw the world completely different. Like, I was able to do math different. I was asked to join freaking TAG, which is like this talented and gifted group in freaking school. I got IQ tested, and I was asked to join freaking Mensa, and I was like, oh my god, this is so fantastic, this is so great, like I have all these opportunities. My dad wouldn't let me do it. He wouldn't let me join TAG, he wouldn't let me join Mensa. He wouldn't let me do it. There's nothing you can do at that age. So I carried on, started reading philosophy probably at 14, 15. Just everything. Anything intellectual. Science, Carl Sagan. I don't even know. I still have some of the books today. Electronics, everything. And so, that went on for a long time. And then essentially, I had my first psychotic break. My first psychosis. I was sitting in class, and it had, I don't remember exactly how it started, but one day I just kind of, maybe it was after, I think I watched Interview with a Vampire. I think I was about 15 years old. And I absolutely totally believe I was a vampire. And like, I would sit in class and I would like suck energy from people and all this other kind of shit. And I know it doesn't make any sense. It was like literally like I could hear other people's thoughts. I can hear what they're saying, what they're thinking, like, you know, how they're feeling. Like, I can see their auras. I can like take energy from them. And I can feed myself and like make myself feel better and all this other kind of shit. All this psychic phenomenon, right? All the hearing thoughts, and then on top of that, there was an interesting dissociation that happened about the time. Like, when I dissociate, it's very visual. So I see a lot of static. I get derealization, and if anyone doesn't know what that means, it's you can look at a tree and not really understand what the fuck a tree is. It's not being real. It's not being connected to anything. It's this complete and total separation, separate self. And so I started hearing voices, and I told my dad, who had worked in a psych ward when he was in his 20s, before he became a DJ, right? So he's the most caring individual in the world. I have a feeling that he was the type of person who would actually make fun of schizophrenics as they're walking up and down the halls, talking to themselves. He would be that type of orderly. We'll find out soon why. So I told him, and we went to a mental hospital. During check-in, he told this story, and the doctor said, where are the voices? And I said, well, they're inside, but sometimes they're outside too. And he says, well, what are they saying? He says, well, he's just commenting on stuff. He's he's just saying everything's gonna be fine, don't worry about it, and then having discussions about different things going on in the world, a lot of times people don't ask you exactly what the voices are saying when you're that age, or even I didn't get that until I was in a trauma hospital. Specifically, it was for stuff like that. I asked, well, what are they saying exactly? I said, oh, well, he's talking about these political platforms and all this stuff are just kind of absolutely totally bizarre, and he doesn't fully understand why. If you actually went in this direction and did this, you could essentially form a third party, and you can have all these different things, and I get checked in. I go to this interview process, and they ask this guy who was later sued out of existence due to malpractice. He had diagnosed me with bipolar 1 after asking 3 questions from a 15-year-old. And one of them, primarily for my diagnosis, was, do you like to spend money? Yeah. When I get my, the thing about this, right? You're 15 years old, and the question is posed to you whether or not you like to spend money. I'm not even being hyperbolic on this, okay? So, what would your response be? No, I like to save my money for a fucking rainy day. No, it's, I like to go spend my money on books. I like to go spend my money on other stuff. So, that was one of the criteria he hit me for, and impulsivity based upon my spending habits. I couldn't even drive. It's a bipolar 1. I was throwing on a bunch of medication and all that fun stuff, and it basically helped lead me to dropping out of school because I couldn't function anymore. The psychosis hadn't gone away, but my life had to. So fast forward. Struggled throughout college. I went to college, was going to get a criminal justice degree, decided against it because I wasn't the type of person who could be. I wanted to do criminal profiling, and there were only 5 people in the entire world in 1999 who really did that. And I actually bought one of his books, and I still have it today. It's literally called Criminal Profiling. World-renowned guy, as far as I know, at least at the time. I decided not to do that because to work your way into that position, you had to get a doctorate degree, but conceptually you could have gone through patrol and worked your way up the ranks all the way to something like that. And so I saw myself going at a traffic stop and just shooting people, not because I wanted to, but because I didn't have that impulse. I was too fearful of people, too mistrusting. So I decided not to. So I went in and went welding, and I threw out my back. Got got welding certification. I was once a welder. And I threw out my bag. And during getting my degree, I threw out my bag. And during laying there for almost a month in bed, I decided that I was going to go do my hobby. And my hobby was, well, programming, because I've been doing it forever. And so, you know, I'm 24, fuck it, all right, let's roll through. 3 years later, struggling through PTSD experiences of having a tornado, which led to another psychotic moment that I worked my way through mentally. I got my degree, fell in line with the Department of Defense, teaching people how to blow shit up overseas. I'm not gonna get into more detail on that. So, I had been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder in August of 2012. But throughout that entire time, I've also been diagnosed with everything else. Generalized anxiety disorder. Taking a moment to retrieve this information, because compartmentalization. So generalized anxiety disorder, schizoaffective disorder, what the fuck is that? Reoccurring depression, major depression, reoccurring, or what the fuck they say, and then I don't even know. I feel like there's that PTSD. I had PTSD from fucking fires. I had PTSD, 7 fires. One fucking summer, I had 7 fires, which led to my diagnosis as going into 2012. In 2012, I spent over almost an entire month in a trauma ward, specifically designed for this, with one of the leading psychiatrists in dissociation research. And I was even on Social Security disability at one time in 2012. And then I met this girl, I fell in love, and she got pregnant. And decided I couldn't be on Social Security disability anymore. So I started working. Being that programmer, baby, bringing in that programmer money. I'm a programmer. Contract to contract, 6 to 9 months. Stints for 11 years. Right? All the way up until essentially August of 2019. And so now our backstory is done. And now we get into what's occurring. So my life is seemingly normal to some degree on the outside, struggling inside, severe depression, anxiety. I got a boy who has just been diagnosed with mild autism. I got a beautiful blonde daughter, and my wife and I have been separated for a year. We're living together at this time because of a failed business venture I had with an uncle. And so I'm looking for a job. It's August 2019. I'm at the computer, and then all of a sudden, Thoth, Hermeticism, or however you call it, whatever you say his name is, he tells me, this voice literally from the ether of nothingness, not from outside my head, not from within my head, but with the authority of every movable atom in the entire existence, tells me that in the coming months, 10% of the world is going to die, and that I need to start preparing now. So I'm sitting there, and this happens. This is a religious experience for somebody who is agnostic, somebody who is atheist. So I'm seeing a therapist at this time, and I kind of let them know that I had this religious experience, and I'm not really sure how to interpret it. And He was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Have some more meds. So, this happens and it plants a seed in my mind. And then, I start falling into this prepping community. And I don't know if it's run by the CIA. I don't even know now. But it was very much a cult. It was a prepping cult. And I got deep into the shit. And they were also doing information. They essentially worked as basically in human intelligence while doing intelligence scraping online. So for people who are unfamiliar with that, it's third-hand accounts while finding information. So what they were doing is they were trying to scrape information of potential bad things happening. Okay, so things to prepare for in this world. And I guess I fell into them at the right time. So as this is progressing, right? Like I'm getting involved. Like I'm understanding. I'm listening to these people. I'm interacting. I'm going out there. I'm looking for stuff. I'm relaying information. And at this time, I'm prepping like my entire family and my family, 4 people, and then my extended family. Everybody was 11 people. Right? I got a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters. Well, I got one sister, and a lot of brothers in the family. So, anyways, so I start prepping for 11 people. By December 1st. I have 1 year supply of food, medical supplies, backup power, everything for 11 people. I have 2 cache locations for all this food. Buckets, 80 buckets, or more than 80 buckets actually of fucking food alone. And each bucket is 40 pounds of rice, beans, oats, sugar, flour, wheat berries, different types of wheat berries, oats, fucking everything. Fucking putting Mormons to shame almost. So, watching events occur in Virginia at that time. Weapons ban stuff. And so, I didn't catch it. We didn't catch it because it was happening. It was happening around the same time. COVID was happening in China around the same time. And it was only until right after the protest happened that I was doing my stuff that I scraped that COVID was occurring. It was literally the next day. And what people don't understand about those early days, like if you were not involved in it, the stuff coming out of China that was leaking out of China was horrifically disturbing. It was absolutely the most horrific, disturbing shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it literally looked like a biological attack. Like there were people who were fucking seizuring from 108-degree fevers and fucking on floors and freaking gurneys and all this shit. These people were dying everywhere. It was fucking just like the stuff that was coming out was absolutely horrific. Welding people into fucking apartment buildings. This is even before Christmas. And so we were wondering even then if this wasn't some sort of weird fucking psyop, but because it was so weird that it came on so hard and so strong that the information it wasn't just necessarily just like leaking out. Like we should have got information beforehand. you know, back in November, basically. And I remember arguing about that. I might be able to pull that up on my Twitter account that I've never used. And of talking with the Lancet. They had released a fucking article. And in it, I was like, so wait. What you're saying is this has been here since November, and it's like January 3rd. Yep. This plane's been flying and they're still flying. So I'm collectively losing my shit, and you know, trying to maintain my own mental health, you know, my family's and all this stuff. And I'm having a hard fucking time. I'm having a hard time seeing this, being immersed in it, like getting this information, disseminating this information, you know. And I start cracking. I start cracking because I'm looking at all these medical journals and everything on the ground, reports given to me from people on the ground, and I'm not sleeping at all. I'm talking 2 or 3 hours max a night. I was talking to my psych at the time, and he put me on sleeping medication because he was saying that even, like, there was probably a point where I did not sleep for almost a month. Like, he was pretty convinced that even though I was sleeping, I was not sleeping. And so I was put on this medication, and it's your traditional, I don't remember what it is. It's basically an antidepressant and sleeping medication. It was an old school shit that I used to use in like the 1980s, blah, 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 to help sedate people. So I would take this fucking medication, and I'm feeling doom around me as I'm falling asleep, like before falling asleep. Like, going to sleep is the most terrifying thing that has ever occurred. Right? Because I had issues, like, even as a kid falling asleep. Oh fuck, my mom's gonna fucking kill me. Right? So that gets ingrained. And then now on top of this, I'm like, oh my God, it's here. Like, it's absolutely here. Like, COVID is fucking here. It's all over the world. We just don't know about it yet. We don't fucking know about it yet. And I'm falling asleep, literally screaming, like crying, because as the sleep, I'm so tired, and the medication is making you so drowsy. You know, your eyes are, you know, trying to shut, and you're fighting. Your consciousness is literally fighting for control. And so I would yell, I would cry as I was falling asleep at night, while having this sense of impending, the most craziest impending doom you can possibly imagine. It was almost like somebody was standing next to my bed with a gun, and knowing that as soon as I closed my eyes, that fucking gun was gonna fire. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. Nothing. So as this is all going on, I'm working at this job, and it's causing me a lot of stress. I was working this job, and I get fucking fired. I get fucking canned. And it's not because I'm not doing the work. He literally fired me for missing, because I would wake up in the morning unable to do anything for an hour, laying in a bath of warm soup, you know, warm human soup, trying to wake up from this medication. And I told him, I was like, hey, what the fuck's going on? He fucking fired me for having psychological issues. So, I'm unemployed. My wife is losing her shit. She says, fuck this shit, I can't deal with it anymore. You need to get the fuck out of here. At the time, I had 2 houses. One up in Dallas and one down in Houston. I go down. And so I go down to this empty house. No job. I find a job very quickly. You know, being in software, doing this stuff for as long as I have, with the skill set that I have, because I do contract from 6 to 9 month contract gigs. You learn a lot of big organizations. And so I fall in line with a very, very large oil something. So I'm down there and I'm still losing my shit. I'm still involved in this stuff. I'm still prepping, last minute prepping, you know, getting everything ready because I know it's coming. I know it's coming. We're getting notifications. It's here. We're finally doing testing. All this stuff is rocking on. You know, fucking April comes around. The economy is starting to tank, and then oil prices crash. And I know I'm about to lose my job again. 100% know. Everyone's talking about it. People are getting laid off throughout the entire place, and you know, Thoth comes back to me. He says it's time. Roger that. So I have a huge backyard. And I dig up half of it, of 800 square feet of ground. I fucking build a garden, potatoes, corn, fucking strawberry bushes, a lot of cucumbers. But most of it was all potatoes because I've done potato growing before, and it was basically like the most, you know, forgiving essentially. So I'm out there rototilling from day to day for 24 hours, almost 24 hours a day. Well, I wouldn't say 24 hours. Let's say 12 hours. It seems like it's fucking 24 hours because I'm dissociated the entire time. Time to me is totally subjective. Anybody can, like, you could literally say, hey dude, you've only been out there for an hour. I'm like, oh shit, like literally, like, are you sure? Like, I probably was out there for like 6 days, I swear to God. So, you know, I'm going through psychosis at this moment. I'm going through severe dissociation because of all my other shit. And so this prepping mentality is it's ingrained. I'm fucking shooting videos online. I'm like, hey, you fucking prepare for this. Like, I'm finally like the information that's coming into me at this point is so intense and so regular. I just can't stop. Like, it is like I'm a fucking router at a fucking telecom, taking information in, trying to disseminate and branching out to other fucking people. And so, like, the only way that I can do it is basically build a hub in terms of technology. I'm like, well, fuck this shit. We're gonna fucking just to everybody. So I take my own Instagram account and I just start fucking disseminating some of this shit, like trying to get people fucking ready. Like, y'all motherfuckers, you fucking ready? Like you need to go get if you got a gate, you need to go fucking seal that gate because these people are gonna fucking lose their job and they're gonna be fucking looking for food because they haven't done a fucking thing and they're gonna come over and they're gonna fucking give you the back door and they're gonna fucking shoot you in the back of the head when you're sleeping. So I fucking build this garden. I'm sleeping at night in body armor, shotguns. I got guns in every fucking room. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to rock and roll. All my brothers, all military. I'm not gonna discuss my shit. Ready. And then BLM stuff happens. Antifa starts rioting. People who have lost their jobs, lost their collective minds, start burning shit down. These riots are occurring, I'm watching them. It's part of my duty. On 3 different computer screens and a laptop. Disseminating information from different live stream accounts on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. I'm watching it 51 riots essentially occurring collectively all in one night. One of the screens pops up, Houston, Texas. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's pay attention to that one. And I'm watching it go through, and just a bunch of stupidity. And then all of a sudden, they're there, down the street from where I'm at. And so on the live stream, I see that they have the face and destroying a freaking white truck, and they're destroying a fucking Starbucks. And that's when I get up. I go outside. I pull down my flag. You know, at the, you know, like I'm already armed. I'm already fucking armed. So I go outside in the middle of the night. I pull down my American flag. I pull down my Gadsden flag. I go out to my fucking garage and I peel off thin blue line shit. I peel off former military stuff. Now it's time to play gray man, right? Because I'm not gonna make myself a target. So, reactionary. Don't be a target. So, this is all going on. And that's it. I cracked. I think it was like 2 days later. I walk into the recruiting company to I don't remember. I returned something. I returned the laptop. That's what it was. Because the company I was working for, they wouldn't accept the laptops in the reception center because nobody was going to work. Everybody was remote. And so I go to the recruiting company, who technically is the one who hired me. And they're like, what's going on? I said, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about, like, I'm literally like, I scare the woman because I am so disturbingly agitated. And, I mean, I remember one of the last things she said to me, she says, you know, you're going to destroy your career doing this. I was like, whatever, I don't care. There will be no more career after this anyways. So I fucking walked out, and I take the money I have, the paycheck I got on that Friday, I give it all to my wife. Here, take $5,000. And so the little money that I have in savings, I take that, I put a hitch on my car. I talked to my dad prior to this, okay? When all this was going on in December, I said, look, we need to get ready because this is gonna come and it's gonna fucking destroy everything. And I'm not gonna be mentally capable of handling this. I'm not. I need help. I need help immediately. I need to soft land into whatever existence is possible for me. But I am not mentally capable of handling this, what's about to occur. And of course I was labeled, I wasn't even labeled anything, to be honest with you. They just didn't fucking believe me. They didn't believe me because they weren't in it the way that I was, and I couldn't convince anybody otherwise. But my dad also didn't give a shit. But my dad did care enough to help me pack and put my house of 3 bedrooms into a storage unit, and then help me hook up his trailer to the back of my car, my 4-banger car, and help me pack and move all my shit, not just my survival stuff, but shit to help me build a cabin in the middle of nowhere. So I had purchased land late 2019 in the middle of Oklahoma. Fucking nowhere, no power, no nothing, on top of a fucking mountain. And in my psychosis, I said, fuck this, I'm done. I don't even remember if I even had a plan. I think my plan was to find work out in the middle of nowhere. And Nobody stopped me. Nobody. My wife, future ex-wife, I don't even have a fucking, you know, it's been 2 years now and more since I've had a ring on this finger. And, you know, you would think a family member would help you, ask you, what's your plan? And then if you didn't have a good plan, they would try to help you find something. Like nobody stopped me. Nobody stopped me in this crazy endeavor to go out and be homeless and build a cabin for $3,000 of my savings in the middle of nowhere. And my brother, the first night out there, me and my brother are out there, and we're chopping into the woods, right? Fucking chainsaws, cutters, all this stuff to find a plot to put a cabin on. And he's out there for 2 days. We camp in tents, and I drive him all the way back, and I drive back up, and I start this adventure out in the middle of nowhere. You know, not realizing that I essentially abandoned my family. Because in my mind, what I'm doing is I'm planning for a future of infinite collapse. Because it's not safe to be in the cities. I've seen this all before. I've read this in all the history books. I've seen this in art, and all the best art, right? As civilization bursts into flames, and mobs of people destroy cities and tear down statues and reinstitute entire governments. I've seen this before. I've read about it in hundreds of books I've read over the years. And so I'm planning for a new reality that these people don't understand is coming. It's October 14th now, to give perspective. Now. Not then now, but now. Right? Because I'm trying to give a parallel between now and what I was preparing for in October 14th of 2020. So I have these delusions in my mind that the world is collapsing and that everything is going to absolute shit, and everything that I am buried myself into information-wise is telling me that's exactly what's going on. There's nobody challenging any sort of belief in my family life, in my friendships or anything. No one is questioning anything that's going on in any way, shape, or form, and there's nothing that they can do to convince me otherwise anyways. And so, even talking to my psych, he said that I should get on Social Security disability. Sounds delightful. Sounds good. So that's probably the best advice he has ever given me. And so I go down that route again. So I file for Social Security disability. I'm out there. I'm fucking building a cabin, literally with my bare hands. Got a couple books and some prior knowledge of when my dad helped build houses and when I helped him build a house in Austin. Remodeled the entire house again, but I'm going by memory. And so I'm building this cabin out there, I'm chopping down stuff. Every other day I'm shotgunning. I'm 12 gauge shotgun with fucking birdshot, buckshot, fucking copperheads and rattlesnakes and shit. And it's an adventure, right? Because out there things are so fucking simple. Right? I'm now in my element as a child, associating myself into the trees. A better world. I'm fucking living it every day. I'm living it because I know that a rattlesnake is a rattlesnake, and a rattlesnake will try to kill me if I get too close. But while living in Houston, while living among humans, you don't know what a rattlesnake is. So for an example, one of my adventures in Houston was driving home from work one day, and this guy's walking on the side of the road. He comes up, and then I'm seeing we're stopped at a stoplight, and he tries to open up a car door. And he's just walking down very casually, just coming over, trying to pull open the door, walking up, trying to pull open the door, and I'm like, oh fuck, this guy, he's walking towards me. He's only a couple car lengths now. I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. So I'm like, I fucking flick my shit. Like I take out my freaking pocket knife, and this is Houston. All the fucking shit. Like this shit is really happening, right? This is before COVID. This was before COVID, and so he comes up, fucking light turns green. I'm like, holy shit, go. Because my luck is that he's just gonna look at me and be like, well, that guy's a sucker. And we'll get into another instance in fucking Houston. Part of the reason why I left, right, is so yeah, he would just come over and just fucking break my window, like, oh, this motherfucker's a sucker, and then like just fucking shoot me and steal my car and take my $2 and all that shit. So so that's Houston for you. The other time was I was driving into work, and there's a section going into work where there's a 2-turn lane, right? So you both of these lanes, one has to turn, one is a turn and a go straight. And so I'm always on the outside because I have to get over eventually. About a mile down, I have to make a right, so I'm always here. And so we turn, and as we turn, he straight the fuck up cuts me off. Like he just like, fuck this motherfucker. And so like he misses me by literally this much. And this is 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, god damn, like this is the type of day I'm having. All right, whatever. And I just fucking boop. Not like honk. I think even Bill Burr has got a thing about it. Just fucking, dick. And so that's what I did. Boop. And so he stops and he gets out of his car, and this guy had all full intentions of killing me at 6:30 in the morning, and I decided that I wasn't going to do it. So I just drove the fuck on, and I fucking sped through at about 60 miles an hour on a 40, going all the way to work. I went right through fucking red lights when I could, slowed down, waited. Like I didn't know this guy. I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna fucking make it work. I don't give a shit. I was gonna fucking get pulled over, and that'd be it, right? So this is my personal experience with the lovely place of Houston. Two potential carjackings in less than that'll happen in 2019 actually. So like I'm not coming into 2020 with a great vision anyways. Right? So I'm most likely suffering from PTSD episodes of that shit. And so I'd much rather deal with a rattlesnake on a daily basis because I understand its motivations. And its motivations are very, very simple, where other people are highly complex individuals who will do anything to make money in any way, shape, or form. And that includes, the lowest IQ person out there to the highest IQ person out there. From the poorest to the most richest in the world. The most complex human is just as dangerous as the least complex human. But this snake has only two things: eat and protect. And breed. Eat, protect, breed. So I'm out there shooting rattlesnakes. I'm hunting for deer. We're not talking to you right now. And every day I'm out there. I'm hunting for deer. I wake up, especially after a rain. Oh shit! After a rain, I'm not eating anything really. I'm maybe spending $40 a week on food, on canned food. We're talking Hunt's chili, or Hormel's, or fucking SpaghettiOs. I'm eating maybe 600 calories a day. And I was on a starvation diet for a long time. And it's pretty fucking hilarious because, I went out there at 220, 5'10", a lot of fat. I lost a lot, but then something kicked in, and I guess it was part of starvation, and I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating 600 and probably burning 3,000 calories a day. My shit is all fucked up. So I'm out there many times just after rain. I'm sleeping in my car. I'm sleeping in my car. So my car is running. It's in the middle of summer at this point, right? I've been out there for 2 months. I don't even have the A-frame structure built yet because it's been so hot that I'm only able to work on it from about 4 o'clock in the morning until about 11, from 4 a.m. to 11, and the rest of the day I sit and I think and I'm reading and I'm doing this stuff in my car as the air conditioner is fucking running in my car and all this shit. And I can't open the windows at night because the horse flies are so intense that they'll fucking come in and they'll bite me, and that the mosquitoes are so bad, I'll have all the blood sucked from me, and then on top of that there's black bears. There's black bears. I fucking flipped on my lights one night, and I see this fucking rumbling of this black bear out in the middle of fucking the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and it's pretty funny. So I mean, I should say that I'm not like totally out in the middle of nowhere. There are some people that are out there on the spot, but really there's pretty much nobody there. I did talk to somebody, and I said, hey, I think I saw a black bear. And like, yeah, I've heard rumors about it. There's an old brown one that comes around every now and then. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Which I don't know if it's true. They might have been trying to fuck with me, but whatever. So this is what's going on. Like, so I'm literally sleeping in the heat 24 hours a day, pretty much, because I don't want to run my car out because I'm using gas, right? And I don't have a whole hell of a lot of money. I'm fucking broke as shit. I'm running. I'm Social Security disability. I'm about to get a payout because of an illegal firing event, and so I'm trying to save this money as much as possible. And so I'm always hot. So I'm researching ways, like the way that people would live in the Middle East when it was super hot out. So like I would fucking go down to a creek and I would fucking drench blankets. These 2 blankets, I had 2 blankets. I would drench them in fucking water before I go to sleep. And that's what I do. I'd fucking lay in my car with drenched blankets to keep me cold at night. So I'm out there. I'm literally homeless, building this A-frame, and it's coming together very, very slowly, And so I get it finally fully framed at July, and I get it framed in July, and for my birthday on August, beginning of August, I want to get this done. And I'm like, I need companionship out here. Like, I need this so bad, and because I'm lonely. I'm lonely, and one day this dog came by, and it was about dead. It had been abandoned. So it had my garbage that was there that I didn't burn. It had found it and it had come and it had spent the entire day with me. And I fed it probably more food than it had ever been fed in probably 2 months. It was super anemiated. It was this yellow dog, and coyotes got it one night. I remember in my car hearing that, and it really bummed me out. But that's nature. So I get the structure fully framed, and for my birthday, I had won this lawsuit, and it wasn't a lot of money. It was like $3,000. And I decide that I'm going to get this dog, and so I start looking online. And by online, I'm talking about with my phone, right? So one of the great things about being on top of this freaking mountain in the middle of nowhere is that it had great cell coverage. It was fucking 5G area, as stupidly insane as that sounds. Fucking 45 minutes from the nearest town. So I'm looking online, I find this dog, and I don't remember the dog's name. So I make arrangements to pick up this dog in 6 weeks. And I'm gonna go see my kids for the first time in probably about a month. Like while being out there, like I left in May. I left in May, so this is a journey about 3 months long. So May, June, July, and August. Okay, so really about 3 full months. It took me to fully construct this and put in an air conditioner unit, a generator, and all this stuff. It's a real cabin. It's a legit cabin when I was finished with it. Fucking roofed by me, foundationed by me by hand. I put in a fucking concrete foundation and a storm bunker. Right, for tornadoes and shit. I built a concrete foundation with basically a small basement so that I can get in case of a tornado. And I framed this fucking thing. I put in an air conditioning unit. I fucking put in a generator hooked up from the generator to its own electrical outlets and all this shit inside there. And so as August 1st rolls around, I'm finally, it had been probably about a week, I had been living in this structure that I had finally built myself. So finally I'm no longer homeless, I'm no longer living in my car. And I decided to get this dog, and I go out and I drive and I get this dog, and he is so awesome. He's the cutest fucking dog in the world. This border collie mix, right? 6 weeks old, and she's like, hey, you're not allowed, like if you're gonna keep this dog, like you need to sign this thing, like you can't go out there, like I understand, like you're living rural like I am, and what you can't do is you can't have this dog just wandering around, because it might find some poop, and then the poop is gonna get the dog sick, and then the dog's gonna die. I'm like, okay, roger that. So I built a pen for the dog to basically go and take a shit in. 6-week-old puppy, I'm putting the puppy back. We have, I got pictures of him in a crate, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, I'm talking to him every day. I was like, we're gonna have this relationship, dude. We're gonna have this great time, like just you and me. Like we're gonna be like best of friends growing up, and like we're gonna take care of each other. I'll feed you, you help protect me, and all this stuff, right? So like I'm building like this long-term relationship with this dog, this 6-week-old puppy that I fucking totally fell in love with. And so August 10th, my birthday, I go out, and I go down to visit my kids, visit the future ex-wife, because I gotta get shots. I gotta get shots for the puppy, and it's my birthday, and I want to show them this dog. Like they've seen pictures of the dog, like I'm able to Google Hangouts. Here's the dog. It's so cute, right? And so my son and daughter, they get to play with the dog for the first time. And after being there 2 days later, he was starting to get sick. And I've only had this dog for a week. And 2 days in, August 12th, I wake up 4 a.m. every day like I had. And he wasn't awake. He did not wake me at all to go outside to go pee. Nothing. And I was like, I don't think he was that tired out from playing with the kids. And so I look and I reach into his crate and he's not really moving. Yeah, but he's real hot. And so I'm like, oh fuck. So I take him outside, I put him down, and he just lays down. He doesn't want to pee, he doesn't want to do anything. And so I take him back inside, he's so hot. And at this point, everybody in the country basically has a scan, temperature gauge fucking thing. So just for shits and giggles, I take it and I put it to his belly, and 108. I don't think it's supposed to be that high. So I start looking on Google Maps. What's the closest animal place to take him to? So by now it's 7:30. One is finally open. My wife wakes up. Kids wake up, and I say, "Hey, the puppy's sick. I gotta go take the puppy to the doctor." So I drive down. It's COVID's still going, so they don't allow anybody in. So I have to, fucking call this number, talk to the person on the phone. I say, okay, please make sure you have a mask, and we'll come and get the puppy. And my daughter had named him Chewy, because he liked to chew on things, like to chew on her little toes. And so the nurse came to get Chewy, and I told him what was going on. And I'm sitting in my car, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna. I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck could possibly be going on? Okay, yeah, that's a possibility. But he wasn't around other fucking dogs. Like, I made sure he wasn't around other fucking dogs. Like I purposely went out to the middle of nowhere in this entire apartment complex to make sure that he wasn't around other dogs' poop. So there's no way he has pantavirus or what the fuck it was. And so at 8:32 they call me and they say that he's got this and that it's going to cost $3,000. I am virtually homeless with $90 in my account. I've been waiting for 3 months to be on Social Security disability. I'm not able to pay for this. I don't have $3,000. And so I feel my mind breaking. And I'm on the phone and I just start crying. And I have to make this choice that I have to put this puppy down. I tell him I don't have the money, because he even tells me, the doctor tells me, he's like, there's only like 20% chance he'll live, at best. So it wasn't like, as somebody who forever going back as a child, looking at all the pros and cons and looking at all the ways to survive and possibly survive, a 20% chance is not enough. So I tell him we have to put the puppy down, and so it's going to be $300. Okay, that sounds good. What's your account? What's your debit card? And I'm fucking crying. Like, they have to ask me several times to repeat myself, because I am literally losing my shit. And negative balance. It's done. I drive home. I'm sitting out, and I had texted my wife beforehand that this is what occurred. And I'm trying to collectively pull my shit together, and I finally do. I don't know how long, what had passed, how long it passed. I had come in, and I told the kids that, hey, Chewy's not coming back. They're too young to fully understand that concept, understand death, but they know what not coming back means. And I'm destroyed. And then a day later, I'm so fucked up and so dissociated. I'm talking to myself. I'm not, at this point, the psychosis has broken, right? And so the compartmentalization in my brain and the entire last 3 months of everything is coming into fruition, and it's breaking down, and everything that I have seen has been basically an entire lie for an entire year. Or maybe it hasn't. Maybe this was the moment of wisdom that I was supposed to have. Because if you know anything about mythology, the person Thoth once was, where his origins came to be, came from a man who tried to teach the world agriculture and ethics and wisdom. And so maybe this was a horrible gift given to me. To essentially make me feel again. To essentially a lot of the issues that led up to me and my wife's separation was the fact that I couldn't feel emotions. That I had become narcissistic due to a personality state that had driven me for a long time. And it had caused a lot of issues. I wasn't able to feel emotions. I couldn't put myself in other people's positions. And now all of a sudden I could feel. I couldn't take it. So I burdened by years of guilt. I'm in the hospital. I'm trying to deal with this. In the crisis center. And I'm telling this fucking story. And so, I would say that's probably where the story ends. A happy story where a mentally ill person who had years of trauma, who fell in love with this girl, who finally could feel again, who found himself, who could begin being human again. And all because this dog died. That dog forced me out of an ungodly amount of nothingness to a life of infinite guilt. And I'm both blessed and cursed at the same time. So, I'm just struggling to rebuild myself at this point. The absurdity of somebody who had so much before, making $120,000 a year, who helped prep 11 people's entire lives when civilization collapses, to lose it all because they came to realize after this dog was given to them by some force, either through the absurdity of the world or through divine intervention, realize the value of people in their lives. And I tossed off my family, who couldn't provide one moment of emotional support or even the ability to talk to me, to just question my reality. And so I've made great friendships since then. Real bonds with people because of this dog's death. And so, I cut my entire family out. I'm still in contact with my wife, who's been trying to help me the best she possibly can. And she hates me with the most invigorating single person can possibly feel towards another. While at the same time, she simultaneously cares. Because she knows I'm trying to rebuild my shit. I'm trying to come back from my own shit upbringing, my shit genetics, and my own shit disposition. I sit here absurdly in a brand new apartment complex, having moved back to Houston, only to fall into one of the most high-profile IP intellectual property fucking technology disputes. And I left that job after 2 weeks. It was so horrible. I won't discuss any more of it because I don't want to get sued. And I was at this job for 2 weeks and I left and I got my paycheck. And fucking 6 months later, I'm still waiting for my Social Security disability. I'm still waiting. I was denied. I've been denied food stamps even as a homeless person for 6 months because even with winning a lawsuit due to my disability, you earn too much money as $3,000 for a single individual who's even homeless is too much money to earn food stamps. So the only paycheck that I got, which is slightly over $2,000, it was too much money even after expenditures and stuff for a single guy to get food stamps. And so now I have $97 in my bank account once again. No job. The absurdity of this entire situation is compounded by the fact that all the stuff that I had put from my 3-bedroom house was completely lost in a flood. Everything. except for my desk, my bed, and the shit chair that I'm on. And all my books. I'm looking at, there's over 300 books with no bookshelf, and they're all sitting in the corner of this 2-bedroom apartment that I'm essentially unable to pay for, and I can't get government to help me. I don't get payouts, unemployment. I can't get food stamps. I can't get Social Security disability because no one will fucking answer my calls. It's not that they'll deny me. I'll get it eventually, but at $1,200 with literally $1,288 for this apartment, it's not necessarily a sustainable situation. So yeah, I couldn't really write this down because what happens is typically when you break psychosis, you have it multiple times. If you're not on medication all the time like I am, you essentially fry your brain. Your brain is completely fried, non-recoverable. It just doesn't really come back 100%. So I'm not able to write as well as I once did, even though I have probably 11 or 12 different books that I've read about it. I used to be very good at writing, plot and structure, different character. Was it like 20 different plot structures? Stein on writing, fucking. I can't even describe to you all the books I've read over the years over it. But I can't do it anymore. I can't. I sit down and it's not that I can't pay attention. Like I can't even fucking text because words get fucking jumbled in my mind. And when the words are here and I can kind of. For now anyways, but when I go to fucking type or text, like literally like I can think the word and as it gets typed out, it becomes a different word. So I figure, fuck it, I'll just spend an hour doing this and I'll probably get my point across a lot faster. So I guess my outro is I can feel again, but the future is more uncertain than I have ever encountered, because I've lived forever. I've lived so far into the future. That I can't do anymore. When that dog died, I don't look at the future the same way, and not necessarily in the same light. I'm talking about like that prepping side is gone. That state doesn't exist anymore. And so looking into the future for possibility of things to happen, it's not there. And I focus on just a few days ahead, a week at most, maybe 2. And I don't know. It's a completely different perspective. It's like it's hard being more present and while looking to the past of all the pain that I've put my family through, while looking to change that. But I don't think I can. Because when I left earlier this year, that company said that they said that I was going to destroy my career if I left. And I have a feeling they meant that. I can't get a job in IT. I've been trying for months before all this. And I don't know if it's because everybody decided to move to fucking Texas. But before all this, I'd put my resume out there and I'd get literally fucking 30 to 40 calls a day from recruiters in the state of Texas looking to fucking talk to me about job opportunities. I have not gotten one call in 2 weeks. So I'm most likely on a blacklist of technology because I walked off my job due to psychosis. And I know it's highly illegal. It absolutely is, but I can't fucking prove it. I don't know if it's paranoia talking or what, but you know, when you look at the past and you saw an absolute pattern and then all of a sudden it changes. Solid metrics like that. It's pretty interesting. I even tested that theory. I changed my phone number. I got a completely new address. Got a completely new email address. And I did. I got a lot of phone calls. And then their system started combining information. And they probably found my old stuff. And interviews. I had interviews, and then they were suddenly canceled. So my career is totally gone. It's totally destroyed. And now I have to rebuild everything. So this is it's good, but it's horrible. If I can just kick it around for maybe a few more months, I don't know, maybe I can atone for something. But you can't work on Social Security disability, and it's not really an option for me to work doing stressful stuff. It's not. I guess one of life's horrible philosophies that you have to take, maybe advices, is you have to accept your limitations and work within the confines of those limitations. And since 2012, even though I haven't improved a hell of a lot, mentally speaking, maybe I have more wisdom. Definitely not as young as I once was. Is, you know, accept your limitations, accept your abilities, and work on the strengths rather than the weaknesses. Focus on the strengths rather than the weaknesses. And I guess really that is I can't work. I kick it around as long as I could, doing this fucking career. I mean, it's too goddamn stressful. Fucking waking up in the morning is stressful for me. I'm still working a lot of this out. Sad part is I don't think I ever will. Not that I want to fucking shoot myself, but you know, every day I'm on Instagram and I post something about philosophy and my philosophy every day. And today's philosophy is that the really only choice you have in life is if today you can choose to die or live. That's the only choice you have in this life. The only true choice anybody has is to end their life or not. Everything else is determined between your potential outlook on your world, your current circumstances, and the 9 billion other fucking microtransactions of stupid shit going on in the entire world. And by 9 billion, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about 9 billion people on this fucking planet doing stupid shit, just living their own lives that subtly influence one another and then end up impacting your own. And I guess with that,